Hi there! As a BL fan who can never finish studying things, I enjoy taking a closer look at the world of BL and discussing all sorts of aspects of it in my videos. In each video, I take on a subject in an informative and hopefully entertaining way and express my thoughts with the help of a co-narrator. Helping me narrate this video are
周子舒
and
温客行
from Word of Honor. Together, we bring you I watched the series Why Are You when it came out in 2020. I really enjoyed the chemistry between Z and Saint, even though I wasn't always happy with the plot. When Cutie Pie with Z and ZeeNuNew was released in 2022, I honestly didn't watch the whole thing. I think I just saw some clips, because there were other series that grabbed my attention more at the time, and I was working a lot as well. When I heard a few months ago that a new series with Z and ZeeNuNew was going to come out, I decided to finally catch up on what I had missed with Cutie Pie and Cutie Pie to You, before diving into the next prince. Z and ZeeNuNew also have fantastic chemistry. Quick insert before I continue with the main topic of this video. The chemistry between Z and Saint was great, and the chemistry between Z and ZeeNuNew is great as well. But there are several plot points and certain personality traits of the characters in Why Are You and Cutie Pie that I just don't like. This video isn't about these specific gripes I have though. So Why Are You and Cutie Pie and its sequel are not my favorite series by a long shot, as much as I enjoy certain scenes. I'm enjoying The Next Prince a whole lot more, and I'm pretty much keeping up with the episodes as they come out. For those of you who have not seen anything of it yet, and would rather watch it unbroken by commentary, I recommend you go watch the first episode before continuing with this video. That's all I'm going to show. Please bear with me, even if I sound strange at times. For all their great chemistry, I don't like the polished, perfect visuals of Cutie Pie and The Next Prince. Everything is so clean and made to be aesthetically pleasing that it's sometimes almost overwhelming. Plenty of people like this aesthetic, and I'm not dunking on anybody for it. I also know that this is due to the budget being high, and the production team being highly skilled and meticulous. That's great, and I would like that for many BL productions. But too much perfection can strip the personality from the matter. In these two series, I feel like it really steals from the story, and more importantly, from the characters. Casual product placement aside, I sometimes feel like I'm watching a TV commercial rather than a series. Part of this is very much a personal preference. I just don't like constantly seeing people living in luxury. No hate to people who are well off, it's just not my world. The percentage of people who actually have all these luxuries is so small, and I believe there are more important things in life than having all the best clothes, cars, and houses. This doesn't mean that I reject all series that show any bit of grandeur, but narratively speaking, I think it works in a story best when it is contrasted by considerably simpler, or even dirty settings. There should be more variety in the kinds of places the characters move in, and, let's be honest, even people with luxury clothes sometimes spill some food or drinks on them. And no, rain doesn't count. Rain is mostly used in an aesthetically pleasing way, not to show how actually disheveled somebody becomes from being poured on. Now, I could get over all of this, if it weren't for the fact that I feel that all this luxury and perfection in Cutie Pie and the Next Prince is getting in the way. It seems to me that visual perfection has taken center stage in these series, with the acting performances being pushed to the sidelines. Visually beautiful productions should be enhancing the actor's work, not taking away from it. This all first occurred to me while watching Cutie Pie for the first time. Additionally, besides all the TV commercial shots and certain behaviors of Z's character Lien that I didn't like, something felt a little bit off about his performance. That was several months ago, and since starting The Next Prince and seeing more of what I had noticed in Cutie Pie, I can't stop thinking about it. So I decided to start the process for developing this video. As you can expect, I watched Cutie Pie fairly closely again. I started out by trying to pinpoint what exactly about creating the perfect image was ultimately taking away from Z's performance. I considered the editing, the rhythm of his movements, the camera angles, the lighting, and even the amount of makeup. Then I watched Why Are You again. Once again, Why Are You is not my favorite series, and without rewatching it, I couldn't tell you half of the plot. But it was the only other series I had seen with Z, and it had some very memorable scenes with him, which is why I automatically compared it to Cutie Pie in my mind. When I rewatched some of it, the answer as to what was taking away from his performance hit me very quickly. Well, it's none of the things I listed before, because I was looking at the wrong thing entirely. Z is half as expressive with his emotions and thoughts in Cutie Pie as he is in Why Are You? I mean, I'm not the only one who sees this, am I? Try and see what I mean with these clips. Look at his eyes. This, to me, is a blank expression. At most, all I can read is boredom. And even when he does show emotion in Cutie Pie, it's restrained and hardly ever noticeable in the rest of his body. ZeeNuNew's character Ge is a lot more expressive, though in highly emotional scenes he also holds back. Now, this could all make sense and fit the characters for this series if this were all explained with some valid character background. But that just doesn't happen. And I can't ignore the amount of what I call posing for aesthetics going on in Cutie Pie. It looks to me like the actors are not allowed to show too much emotion in these scenes because it would ruin the perfect aesthetic. This lack of expression continues for Z in The Next Prince. I would like his character better in this series, if only I could see more of his feelings. ZeeNuNew is at least allowed even more range of emotion, which is fantastic for him. I really like his character, Kanin. I still feel that when the actors have to concentrate too much on looking good, it doesn't allow them to act properly. And yes, I know that a different series has different characters, and that the visions of the writers and directors are what led to these visuals. But you can have characters that generally don't express their emotions much, or actively hide their emotions, while at the same time allowing for them to do more in a scene. Even if the characters are reserved and withdrawn, they might still express a lot of joy in certain moments, especially around the people who they're closest to. And why is it that they are only allowed to feel uncertain and afraid when the one they love is in mortal danger? This brings me to another point that gets blocked out when striving for this kind of perfection. Emotional uncertainty and fear give the character vulnerability. And actual vulnerability, not the one that can be overcome by taking action or comfort, but the kind that you are helpless to, is nowhere to be seen in Z's characters in Cutie Pie and the Next Prince. Vulnerability is important in relationships, and can create incredibly powerful moments in love stories. Hence all the comforting scenes around trauma that exist in BL. But in Cutie Pie and the Next Prince, Z's characters are not allowed to be vulnerable to that extent. It just gives me a big sense of loss. To make this abundantly clear, Z and ZeeNuNew can both absolutely knock you out with their acting when they are allowed to. They have range. They have authenticity. And they both have good comedic timing. So how the frick did this happen? I really don't get it. Whose idea was this? When we could have had this? I might be projecting heavily here, but this boredom that I mentioned earlier that I see in Z's characters feels like it might be Z's own boredom from playing roles like that. There's a lot more you can do with a character when you're allowed to show more emotion. And honestly, I feel that his performance in Cutie Pie sometimes lacks presence. In some scenes, his eyes just look empty. It feels like it sends the message that showing too much emotion makes you lose some of your beauty and attraction. This is unfortunately also in line with already existing toxic views on masculinity, and in the context of BL, views on the semi-role, that masculinity may not be too emotional, while those in more feminine perceived roles are allowed to express all their emotions. Because perfection means not showing much emotion. What a toxic concept to have about emotions. And what a ridiculous implication to make about somebody's looks. I mean, look at them! It also gives me the feeling that the directors and producers don't trust the actors enough. They hired some great actors to fill these roles, but their looks become the most important thing about watching them. Their beauty shouldn't be what carries the scene, and it most certainly shouldn't be what holds them back. And taking away from the character's beauty can actually do very good things for a story. Other than the beginning, Zhou Zishu spends most of the first 6 episodes of Word of Honor in a disguise that is meant to take away from his good looks. By the time the disguise comes away, you've practically forgotten what he looked like before that. And the reveal feels pretty damn good to look at. Now, I am fully aware that there are plenty of fans who genuinely enjoy the picture-perfect aesthetics of Cutie Pie and the Next Prince and see no issue with it. For those of you who agree with me to an extent, but might want to point me to all the behind-the-scenes footage and fan meetings where Z and ZeeNuNew can be more like themselves, sure, you can certainly get your kick from watching them act all proper and perfect on screen, then becoming goofy and expressive off-screen. Here's why that isn't a solution for me. If I were to do that, that would mean moving the emphasis from watching and enjoying a whole, multi-hour series to hunting for short clips and moments that create enough of a contrast to what I had seen previously. And I might be reaching a little too far with this, but it becomes rather ridiculous to me that the producers have spent time and money to make these series. The Next Prince especially is streaming on a site that you need to pay to access, but the scenes that you end up enjoying the most are the ones that are free on YouTube. That just doesn't feel right to me. In the future, please, somebody give them more interesting roles to play. Don't let their last brain cells die off. Don't let their amazing talents go to waste. Will the world really end if characters show more emotions? Will there be less viewers if the beauty of the actors is not underscored enough? Isn't the look of being in love the ultimate beauty? Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you liked it and comment below. Take care.